The people around us are shaping who we become. The question is, are they shaping us for better or worse? Every friendship begins with a choice that often feels small in the moment, yet has the power to influence our thoughts, our habits, our dreams, and even our future. Some friends help us grow. Others quietly pull us away from the person we are meant to become. The surprising part? The difference is not always obvious. What kind of friends we have is ultimately a choice we make. And when the choice is ours, shouldn't we choose wisely? But how do we know who truly belongs in our circle? How do we recognize the friendships that strengthen us from those that slowly drain us? And what if the secret to a happier, stronger, and more meaningful life lies in the friends we choose today? Stay with me until the end of this story. Listen carefully, reflect deeply, and you may discover a simple truth that can transform your relationships forever. Because friendship is more than companionship. It can become your vitamin F for life, your chosen family, your source of strength, and the place where some of life's most precious memories are made. There is a strange thing about friendships. Some people enter your life like gentle sunlight through a window, and some enter like fog. The tricky part is, fog rarely looks troubling in the beginning. And this story begins with a boy named Neil, who trusted people easily and treated everyone like a friend. Every evening after school, Neil played in the garden of his residential complex. Tall glass buildings surrounded the place. Children rode bicycles on smooth pathways. Soft lights glowed near the fountain. Parents scrolled through phones while talking about meetings and deadlines. And in the middle of all that noise, Neil laughed loudly with a group of boys and girls from his society complex. They were funny, popular, always surrounded by people. But slowly, Neil noticed something strange. Whenever one of the boys left the group for even a few minutes, maybe to answer a phone call, buy a drink, or go home, the others immediately started making fun of him behind his back. "Did you see his shoes? He talks so weird. She thinks she's smart." The group laughed. And Neil laughed too. Not because it felt right, but because he wanted to feel like part of the group. Sometimes they bullied younger kids near the basketball court. Sometimes they pressured Neil to skip class or lie at home for small little things. Even when their behavior felt wrong, Neil stayed with them. He just wanted to feel accepted, like he mattered to someone. But deep inside, he always returned home feeling drained inside. Not physically tired, emotionally, like carrying a school bag filled with invisible stones. One evening, Neil sat alone near the garden fountain. The water moved quietly under the yellow lights. That was when an old man from the society, Mr. Kapoor, sat beside him. Mr. Kapoor was known for taking slow evening walks and feeding birds near the gate. Most people barely noticed him, but he noticed everyone. That evening, Neil looked quite upset. Earlier, the group had made fun of him for not having expensive football studs like theirs. Because of that, they refused to let him join the match. Neil tried to laugh it off in front of them, but deep inside, it hurt. Mr. Kapoor quietly noticed the sadness on his face. "Something happened?" he asked gently. Neil looked down at the ground for a moment. They said I couldn't play with them because I don't have proper football shoes, he said softly. Sometimes it feels like they only include people who impress them. Mr. Kapoor listened carefully without interrupting him. Then he slowly pointed toward another group of children playing nearby. Some were younger than Neil, yet something about them felt different. They shared their badminton rackets without fighting. They waited for slower children instead of leaving them behind. They listened to each other's ideas while choosing games. And somehow, everyone looked included. Do you see the difference between them? Mr. Kapoor asked softly. Neil looked toward the children quietly. Some people make others feel comfortable just by being around. People laugh naturally. They do not feel the need to pretend. He paused for a moment. And then there are some people who bring uneasiness with them. Gossip, fear, meanness. Even after they leave, the heaviness stays behind. Mr. Kapoor smiled softly. Friendship is like that too. The right people bring peace into your mind. The wrong ones unknowingly fill it with noise. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The evening breeze moved softly through the trees. Then Mr. Kapoor asked, "When you leave your friends, do you feel lighter or heavier?" The question stayed inside Neil's mind long after he went home. The next few days, he started observing carefully. When he scored well in science, some boys mocked him. Trying to become a genius now? But another classmate, Joy, quietly smiled and said, "Good job, Neil. Teach me how you studied that chapter." It was such a small sentence, yet somehow it felt warm. One afternoon in the school library, Neil forgot his notebook. A girl named Ria ran across the hallway to return it. "You always help others," she said. "So I thought I should help too." No teasing, no hidden motive, just kindness. And slowly, Neil began noticing the difference between people who drained him and people who inspired him. The difference was invisible, but powerful. Bad company often feels exciting in the beginning. It feels fun for a while, until it slowly damages you from inside. Good friends are different. They do not always tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes they challenge you, correct you, stop you from making foolish choices. But they do it because they care. Sometimes their honesty may even feel uncomfortable. But real friends would rather protect you than simply please you. Slowly, Neil also started noticing other children who were kind and considerate. A younger boy named Vivan always waited for Neil before starting a basketball game because he didn't want him to feel left out. A girl from the next building, Mira, once noticed Neil sitting silently near the garden and simply said, "You look upset today. Want to walk with me?" And Joy never laughed when Neil made mistakes while practicing football. Instead, he would smile and say, "You'll get better. Try again." None of them tried to impress people, yet somehow, being around them felt intensely peaceful. One evening, the boys from Neil's old group planned to damage books and scribble on the walls of the society library as a fun prank. "Come on," they laughed. "Don't act scared." For the first time, Neil stayed silent. His heart beat fast. Because sometimes the hardest thing in the world is not fighting strangers. It is walking away from people you once called friends. Then, suddenly, he remembered something Mr. Kapoor had made him understand. Real friends pull you away from trouble. Wrong friends pull you deeper into it. Neil stepped back. "I'm not doing this." The group stared at him. Some rolled their eyes. One of them laughed quietly. "What a loser." "Wow," another boy smirked. "Looks like you've become too good for us now." Maybe he had. That night, Neil walked home alone, and strangely, he felt peaceful. Not lonely, peaceful. Days passed. Neil spent more time with people who made him feel comfortable instead of nervous. People who listened instead of mocked. People who could laugh without hurting others. People who celebrated his success instead of competing with it. He noticed something beautiful. Good friends are not the loudest people in your life. Sometimes they are simply the safest place in your life. They notice when you are sad. They protect the things you trust them with. They tell you when you are wrong, but speak proudly about you when you are not around. And slowly, Neil understood something most people learn too late. Friendship is not about how many people sit beside you. It is about who stays beside you when things are not easy. That evening, Neil returned once again to the society garden. The fountain still flowed quietly under the lights. Mr. Kapoor sat feeding birds near the gate. Neil smiled and sat beside him. "You were right," he said softly. Mr. Kapoor chuckled. "About what?" Neil smiled and said, "About friendships. Some people feel like noise, and some feel like peace." Mr. Kapoor nodded slowly. Then he said something Neil would remember for the rest of his life. Choose friends who help you become someone you are proud to be. And maybe this story is not only about Neil. Maybe it is a mirror, a quiet mirror, and somewhere inside it, you may see your own friendships too. Because the people around you slowly shape your thoughts, your habits, your future, and even the way you feel about yourself. So choose carefully. Not everyone who stands beside you belongs beside you. Remember, real friends celebrate your wins and protect you during hard times. The right people bring peace into your life, not fear or pressure. Courage is sometimes walking away from bad company. When you have the power to choose, choose wisely. And be the kind of friend you want to have.